A little girl saw 5 red lines on her father's head, one to her mother, another to herself. Not understanding, she drew them all down. But she never expected that when her mother saw the drawing, she would go mad with rage. The mother stabbed her husband to death, then took her own life. As time went by, the girl finally understood these red lines represented sexual relationships. The high school girl downstairs had only 1 red line, but her police officer uncle had tens of thousands, densely packed. The new female neighbor across the way also had 6 or 7 lines, and even people on TV had visible red lines. Even posters of her favorite celebrities were covered with countless red lines. The girl discovered their dark sides and gradually broke down. She believed seeing these things caused her family tragedy. The girl slowly realized seeing red lines could get people killed, so she chose to end her own life. But nothing could kill her. She survived every time. Since she couldn't die, she decided to stay home and never go out, becoming a shut-in. She also wanted to figure out how these red lines came to be, who was responsible, and whether anyone else could see them. She wanted to know how to get rid of this curse. One day, her doorbell suddenly rang. It was the neighbor who had just moved in across the hall. He brought fruit to visit, but she was afraid of seeing the red lines, didn't want to open the door, and didn't want to interact with anyone. But the neighbor was a warm-hearted person, sitting at the door and chatting non-stop. After he finally left, the shut-in opened the door and found 3 peaches there, so he started eating, and the next day the neighbor brought him apples. When the shut-in turned on the TV, ready to eat, he saw that a murder had been discovered in his apartment complex, Zinwudong. A woman in her 20s, living alone, had been killed by someone who came to her door. It's rare to see someone with hundreds of red threads, but someone with only 1 red thread also stands out. A delivery guy wearing a helmet was acting very suspiciously at the crime scene. That night, the shut-in again saw the helmeted man with only 1 red thread appear nearby. When he reached for his phone to call the police, he then saw the helmeted man enter the apartment of the woman across the hall, and they passionately kissed. The girl thought it was a false alarm and canceled the police call. The next day, neighborhood police came to talk to her about the canceled call. For the first time, she saw someone up close with a huge tangle of red threads above their head, and she found it unbelievable.
I swim or nobody else. If you could probably be there. Actually, this sports car only comes with 1.
After a long while, he finally opened the door and explained that he had made a mistake and that's why he called the police, describing the situation in detail.
This black background looks nice. Original.
During the day, the police officer investigates murder cases, but behind the scenes, he's quite the flirt. One moment he's chatting in the office, and the next he's kissing a colleague in the records room. He even invites her to his wedding. But as soon as he hears his colleague is married, the officer's attitude changes. He says he has something else to do and leaves.
I've managed to get all the X-Bugs for you. Central.
Meanwhile, the police officer's niece, Xiaoni, was being bullied at school. A group of thugs would beat and scold her every day, and if she didn't give them money, they beat her even more brutally. Xiaoni could only go home and ask her uncle, who was her only family, for money. She gave him all her wages, but it still wasn't enough for her. Later, he noticed that his niece's face was covered in injuries. Xiaoni was timid and submissive outside, but at home, she lashed out. Even with a police officer at home, her uncle never sought help. With not enough money, Xiaoni decided to steal. As soon as she touched someone's bag, she was caught and embarrassed. She gave up. The girl in sunglasses was surprised the man in the helmet had shown up again. He was right across from her house. He looked through the peephole. The person noticed, slowly turning back to look in the girl's direction. That shot was terrifying. Police discovered victim in new Wudong murder case was ex-boyfriend of the girl, Wu Zhenwen, a high school teacher. Building B, room 303, he had been to the same gym as the girl last month's murder case.
Pulling 330. Doesn't seem so. Well, that's in the past now, for us. Children. Sender Samoa is a Kigo. Sometimes the person I get is the green one, right?
At this moment, the police received a call from the hospital saying that the father was about to jump off the building. He hurried over and saw his father on the rooftop. Suddenly, he thought maybe it would be better to just let him go through with it. Meanwhile, his friend went alone to room 303 to check things out. The door wasn't locked. He could just turn the handle and walk right in. The room was empty and desolate, with red strings everywhere. While he was calling the police, Wu Zhenwen suddenly came at him from the side with a stick and started hitting him. The police tried to call his friend, but couldn't get through. His friend lost the fight. Wu Jinren was covered in blood and was tied up. He put on his helmet and glasses. The girl at home felt something was wrong. She noticed the man in the helmet only had one red string on his head. Clearly, last time he was with the neighbor, so there should have been two. That's when the homebuddy realized he had killed those intimate with him. She wanted to call for help, but her phone was dead. She grabbed a kitchen knife to save someone. Not having gone out for a long time, she was anxious, stumbling and breathing heavily. Her neighbors were startled and hurried back into their homes. Wu Jinwen was down to his last red thread, the girl next door. As he was about to strangle someone, the shut-in appeared with a kitchen knife. Wu Jinwen found it laughable. How could he take him seriously? But in the chaos, the shut-in stabbed him, causing him to lose consciousness. The man's eye fell out, and he panicked. Only then did the police arrive. He made it to Building B, room 204, the man across the hall beating two girls. The police tore off the cardboard box, fired at the man across the hall. At this moment, he realized that he was the only one who knew the secret of the red thread. He wondered if it was hidden in those glasses. In this chaos, only the neighbor girl was taken away by ambulance, while the shut-in and the girl's wounds healed quickly.
I'm just like, what am I gonna do about that?
拍去掉。
But yeah. Not a female spirit.
Oh no.
I forgot you've already been up there. It was you.
Do you know Sora? Yeah.
You're on the road.
Some dishes are better than before. The police officer, relying on his physique and looks, is quite the player. Since then, Shawnee walked around school like she owned it. She saw the red string above every classmate's head. The male homeroom teacher's strings were more than one.
No need for that many. Fountain so.
Shawnee saw girls who used to bully her. One, a teenager, gossiped about dirty things, playing so dirty in high school, and with the ringleader. The mean girl had two red strings, one connected to a teacher near the office door. This made Shawnee exclaim how wild it was, and thinking about getting back at them later made her want to laugh. Back then, the mean girls bullied Shawnee physically and emotionally. Their clique would go through her backpack, and they even drew the love letters Shawnee wrote to her crush on the blackboard. They mocked her, even reading her letters aloud. Shawnee, enraged, tried to hit the mean girl but was overpowered and pinned down. The teacher gently tried to break up the fight and calm everyone, but no one listened. She was such a great female teacher. Her gentle demeanor belies an intimidating gaze. The mean girls, laughing and bullying, fell silent. Meanwhile, the shut-in received an anonymous text. The sender, claiming to see her world, told her to go to Ark High School. To unravel the red string mystery, she left her house. She tidied her home, removed window coverings, put on her uniform, and went to Ark High. Upon arrival, asked to introduce herself, her extreme social anxiety kept her silent. The mean girls mocked her, calling her a mute. The shut-in was assigned to the back corner of the last row. Prosecutor ordered mulled over the Wu Jinwen murder case, suspecting something was wrong with those glasses. But when he went to the evidence room, he couldn't find them. Meanwhile, Jishu drove to Ark High School, as Wu Jinwen used to teach there. Arriving at the office, only the female homeroom teacher was present.
No one here still?
Akbar Naber Sanchez.
I really know.
The homeroom teacher hinted Shauna wasn't doing well at school. Jishu hadn't noticed his niece was being bullied, showing he didn't pay enough attention. He was there for the Wu Zhenwen murder case. When she learned teacher Wu killed someone, the teacher was shocked.
In the end, I'm just a cold and heartbroken person.
Yeah, almost dead.
Shauna was bullied again. She quietly picked up her glasses. But this time, Shauna stood her ground, confronting the bully.
Say sorry.
Just film this. I'll just film it.
Unexpectedly, the socially anxious shut-in showed up and stopped the mean girl from bullying Shauna, but was mocked instead. Clearly, they didn't take her seriously. But then, the shut-in did something that made the mean girl tremble. She grabbed her by the collar and threatened to jump off the building together, all because the shut-in is immortal.
How about this? Take your dad and get up.
This really scared the mean girl out of her wits. Not being afraid of death really feels invincible. Then Shauna turned to the shut-in, acting all fierce, telling her not to meddle in her business again. She was about to leave, but couldn't help herself and called out to the shut-in, telling her to hurry up and come over. Order sparks ambiguous vibes wherever she goes. How else could she live up to her wild, explosive hair? These two are easy on the eyes. When Shauna saw her uncle at school, she cursed, wondering what Order was doing there. They went to a bar to investigate. Order took out a photo of Wu Zhenwen, learning he used to be a regular. He got into conflicts with other patrons due to odd behavior. Sometimes he'd mutter numbers. Order's trip to the bar ended with her picking up a proverb. After being called cute, she was immediately taken to a hotel. Are adults always this straightforward? Meanwhile, after school, Shauna secretly followed Luan Nu and discovered she was on a date with the homeroom teacher. The two were being all lovey-dovey, so Shauna quickly took out her phone to snap a picture of the scene. The two of them walked hand in hand into the hotel. Shauna looked at the photo with satisfaction and immediately sent it to the mean girl. Lying on her bed, the mean girl received the message and angrily cursed at Miss Phone. After taking a shower, Miss Phone came out, and the mean girl acted as if nothing had happened. While the two were getting intimate and showing affection, it has to be said, the mean girl really eats poorly. Even at her age, she's still so short. Seeing she couldn't threaten the mean girl, Shauna hatched an evil plan. The next day, school teachers discussed if anyone had seen the news. A teacher from a neighboring school was involved with a student.
Hang on.
If you can't get that evidence, I'll just be a waiter, you know. It's not like there aren't other doctors who can do it. Wherever I go, I'll just go.
Haven't parked there in ages.
This guy, who claims to be an ordinary uncle, has been involved with a student for a while. As soon as he turned on his phone, he received an anonymous text cuddling with a student at a hotel. While panicking, the female homeroom teacher appeared behind him and asked why he wasn't in class. You feel this homeroom teacher isn't simple. There's a bold guess that she's controlling the eyes. The male teacher called his student girlfriend to the office. He scolded her for sleeping in class. The two went to the pitch-black basketball court. The tough girl wasn't scared, and their relationship was exposed. The male teacher was panicked. Why did you give me this delivery payment?
To deliver it. To you.
The tough girl was also curious how good and evil were found. Incredibly, she completely changed her timid demeanor and became more popular, even taking photos with classmates. Meanwhile, the PE teacher received photos of herself having an affair with the math teacher, then she called her lover. The math teacher was terrified and scolded the man for not being careful. This was orchestrated by Shawnee behind the scenes. When someone bullied gains power, they become better. She deliberately stole someone else's boyfriend, her eyes full of pride.
I'm done for. I'm broke.
This was noticed by the shut-in at home, who guessed Shawnee had dirt on these people. She went to the bathroom to ask him why he never used glasses, but now wears them daily. She bluntly asked if it was because he could see the red string on people's foreheads. The shut-in mentioned the recent murder, warning that using these glasses for evil could be very dangerous. But Shawnee didn't care. Their conversation was overheard by the mean girl hiding in the bathroom. Shawnee continued to use the glasses, determined to show she was far from done. She blackmailed the male teacher, demanding he prepare 20 million won. Shawnee didn't forget to arrange a date with her classmate's boyfriend. After the two of them finished at the hotel and came out, the mean girl kept following her. When Shawnee went into a shop with her boyfriend to take some big, silly photo booth pictures, she left her bag on the floor, making it easy for the mean girl to snatch it. It wasn't until she left the shop and realized her glasses were missing that Shawnee knew she was in serious trouble. No matter how hard he searched, he just couldn't find them. Meanwhile, after putting on the glasses, the mean girl discovered a whole new world. She could see red lines on top of everyone's heads. Just as she was enjoying herself, there was suddenly a loud scream. Shawnee thought the shut-in had stolen her glasses and angrily yelled at her, telling her to come find her at school, since she had already arranged to meet the teacher on the rooftop.
Do you really want to live like this?
Wait, but can you really live like this?
Shawnee, looking like she had everything under control, had no idea she was about to die. No matter how much the teacher pleaded, he insisted he had a wife and kids, and without his job, he was nothing. He just couldn't come up with that much money. But Shawnee resented him for tolerating the bullies and refused to accept the teacher's apology. Unexpectedly, the teacher received a text from his wife. She already knew about his affair. Losing his mind, the teacher blamed everything on Shawnee. When the shut-in rushed to the school, what he saw was a body falling from the building. Mr. Bai used his superpower glasses to brutally beat Peter, but this exposed the seemingly innocent older sister's secret. She was actually the homewrecker who ruined the family.
Oh, my dear big brother, my beloved big brother.
Earlier, the male teacher found a strange pair of glasses on his desk. He asked the gentle female teacher about them, but she said she didn't know whose they were. Driven by curiosity, he put on the glasses and saw that everyone had intricate arcs above their heads, and when the prosecutor walked in, there were tens of thousands of lines above his head, which almost made the male teacher lose his balance in shock. Officer Han Shiyu is the uncle of Zhang Shangyi, who committed suicide by jumping off a building. He came to the school to ask about the female homeroom teacher situation, but before he could say anything, she immediately concluded it was a suicide. She expressed her condolences.
This.
1.
That night, the shut-in happened to go to the school and witnessed Jiang Shange falling from the building. She was rushed to the hospital, and her uncle, Han Jiyu, hurried there. She couldn't understand why a shut-in would be at school at night. She told the truth. Shange called her and asked her to come. She told her police officer uncle that Shange didn't commit suicide. To get home early to edit videos, I bought a Tesla on Guazi used cars for only 99,000. Every car on Guazi undergoes official inspection. Electric cars' 3 main electric systems come with original factory warranties. The battery even has 100-day buyback guarantee. Recently, Guazi listed thousands of affordable direct sale cars individual owners. Buying a used car Guazi gives peace of mind. Strangely, the literature teacher who met Shauna that night also didn't show up to teach. The mean girl who bullied Shauna is also missing. Fortunately, Shauna is out of life-threatening danger, just in a coma. Since then, whenever the shut-in girl sees someone suddenly wearing glasses, she snatches a passing boy's glasses and puts them on. After confirming nothing unusual, she asks the two baffled individuals, who think she's odd. As for the male teacher who found the glasses, he was supposed to get married days ago, but suddenly broke up with his girlfriend. He moved to his sister's place, planning to go to Canada. This was his first visit since his sister married, so he hadn't met his brother-in-law. Dinner that night was awkward. The male teacher saw 2 red threads on his sister's head, and on his brother-in-law's head, there were over a dozen others with passwords. The brother-in-law was warm, joked. "Don't you know something?" "No, I don't."
Just
"Is."
the result. Listen, please.
To the very end, my dear little brother, I will be with you.
When the reason for the breakup, his sister's face was full of embarrassment and discomfort, and she kept drinking. When the male teacher and his brother-in-law took the elevator, he noticed a red thread on his brother-in-law's head outside the elevator. His brother-in-law was enthusiastically conversing the male teacher. He looked awkward. When Salambu went home, his brother-in-law casually pressed the button for the 4th floor, then changed it to the 10th floor, smiling as he said he pressed the wrong one. The man's sixth sense told him something was off about his brother-in-law, so the male teacher deliberately pressed the 4th floor. When the elevator doors opened, he saw that the red thread on his brother-in-law's head was connected to this floor.
Alright, let me get married. That's just how I am.
The next day, the male teacher went to school and saw that the PE teacher was having an affair with the math teacher. Affairs and cheating were everywhere, which he found amusing. The male teacher couldn't help but ask the female homeroom teacher a question.
Is this motor zero, or could it be a bit smaller? Admit
that he sent you. Mom, from this sentence you can see.
The female homeroom teacher is not simple. She might control the glasses, handing them to the weak to expose human nature's dark side. After work, the male teacher went home and found a misdelivered package. It was for Wu Taishi, 401. Instinctively, he suspected it related to his brother-in-law's affair. So, he went to the 4th floor. But at 401's door, he stopped himself from ringing.
52, here you go. This one's solid. Don't they? You just have to pee.
The male teacher found Guitsaili, owner of 401, via mailroom recipient info. That night, the siblings honored their late mother. Learning his brother-in-law was away, the teacher advised his sister to care for her skin, given her husband's wealth. He grew angry discovering she still contacted their father's relatives. Because their father had an affair, when his girlfriend cheated, the male teacher broke up with her. One day, the male teacher saw his brother-in-law waiting at a traffic light and followed him. He discovered that his brother-in-law was on a date with a young, beautiful woman and thoughtfully put a necklace on her. The male teacher called his brother-in-law, who lied, on a business trip. The male teacher said his sister wasn't answering her phone, then went straight to their table and saw the room card was for 2407. His brother-in-law met the young woman, the teacher pretended to be hotel staff. Brother-in-law opened the door, he angrily grabbed him by the collar. Seeing the unrepentant cheater, he burst out laughing. Seeing his brother-in-law's serious face, he promised to settle everything today, begging for time. Given the promise, he decided to give him a chance, warning that if he didn't resolve it, who knows what he might do. Finally, the day came when the male teacher was about to go to Canada. Before leaving, his sister even stuffed money into his hand. The male teacher went to school to hand over duties, ready to leave everything behind. Still reluctant, he put on his glasses and asked Cham if things had been resolved. He was actually asking if his brother-in-law's issue was settled. Unable to stop worrying about his sister, the male teacher searched for Guitsailuan on social media and discovered she was pregnant with his brother-in-law's child. The male teacher cursed, calling him a lunatic, and immediately took a taxi to his sister's neighborhood, not expecting what would happen. A car rammed violently into another. When the teacher opened the car door, it was his sister. She looked at him with blame, asking why he did this. The teacher was confused, asking what she meant. At that moment, he was at a loss, originally wanting to scold her when he saw the young woman.
Me, what exactly? Why did I even come out here?
Everyone present was shocked to see the two fighting. The wife and real mistress tried to stop them, saying this man wasn't who they thought. The husband said his name wasn't Kim Byung-jae, but Oh Tae-hee. This revelation was jaw-dropping. Those who thought they were upholding justice didn't realize the innocent were actually victims.
What time did you come out?
That.
Because the male teacher threatened him to deal with the mistress, the other party broke up with the sister. Heartbroken, the sister couldn't take it and drove her car to crash into the pregnant wife's car to vent her anger. It's really sad. She didn't dare confront the man, only taking it out on another woman. From this, her ex-boyfriend Faye learned that the two of them had been to the place where Pai Tu hangs out. Surveillance showed the woman followed the paper girl, taking her bag. She was last seen near the elevator, wearing glasses. A school scandal erupted. Photos of her with the literature teacher surfaced, leaker unknown. The school found the teacher dead by suicide in the parking garage, a confession in his car. The situation felt off. How could he be dead for 3 days unnoticed? The officer returned to school to find Gary and stake out the place.
No. Sunadu ku Kagriabath.
I'm gone.
Kim Mei-shin, the female teacher with the red string, enjoyed watching passionate scenes next door through Xiaohu, feeling satisfied. One day, a man with one red string checked into the hotel next door. When Kim Mei-shin put on her glasses, she realized it was her White Moonlight, her music teacher. She was shocked, but another woman appeared next door, a woman with red strings on her head, lying ambiguously with the man. She watched her White Moonlight intimate with another woman, listening to the woman's moans, and Kim Mei-shin lost her mind. The next second, she was filled with murderous intent. It started when she got glasses that could see red strings. After that, she became obsessed with her desires, growing self-indulgent, often performing for herself and believing she was a natural actress. She fantasized about having sexual relationships with many men. When her boss scolded Kim Mei-shin for making a document mistake, she didn't dare to breathe. Kim Mei-shin was also mocked by her geography teacher, Hung Qian.
Weed.
Back at her workstation, she played with the stapler because she had been bullied by colleagues. The music teacher helped her pick up her books and the stapler, asking if she was okay. From then on, the music teacher became Kim Mei-sum's secret crush. Especially since her colleagues gossiped about how good-looking the music teacher was, Kim Mei-sum steal glances at him. She had a strange quirk. She didn't dare speak loudly, and she couldn't make noise. She chose to go to a room at Red Star Travel Agency every week, always asking for room 206G, and she would dress up for it. Wearing high heels and letting her red hair down, as soon as she entered the room, she could finally let herself go.
Is it always this slow to bundle the ledgers of the three kingdoms?
The thumbing hasn't been returned either.
The Yu he mentioned is the music teacher. She couldn't build relationships at school, only the music teacher looked out for her. At home, needing money, she worked as a front desk clerk at the Red Star Hotel. Both friends thought Jean Mei-shin played her role well. When he checked out, one friend recognized him as an administrative staff member from the school. That day, Jean Mei-shin still asked for room 206. Passing the room, Dun Desheng overheard sounds inside, listening to her muttering and practicing lines, constantly emphasizing she had been with many men. It turned out Jean Mei-shin was just trying to distract herself from the room next door. She thought she'd witness something joyful, maybe see her White Moonlight, but unexpectedly, the man who appeared single had also brought a woman. This woman was the unattainable White Moonlight for the music teacher. Jean Mei-shin listened to the two inside. After they finished, the woman pulled up her pants and mentioned they'd meet again tomorrow at the same time. Jean Mei-shin took off her wig, went downstairs, and extended the time for room 206. She had prepared a fire extinguisher and put something in the water. When the woman arrived, she attacked her with the fire extinguisher. Tied and dressed in women's clothes. What a well-mannered woman. Mei Xian then calmly walked into the music teacher's room.
Pan Qingyi. Damn.
The music teacher was stunned. How did he end up with Jean Mei-shin, who acted so seductively? She claimed she'd been with many men, but after meeting him, she feared she couldn't have him. Frightened, the music teacher shoved Jean Mei-shin away, saying, "Are you out of your mind?" Jean Meixin drugged the water she gave the music teacher. When she fell, she hit the back of her head, but Jean Meixin, unaware, hugged the teacher, kissed her passionately, whispering to her unconscious body. Blood began to flow from the back of the music teacher's head. Jean Meixin realized she was dead. She cried out, unable to believe the teacher had stopped breathing. Jean Meixin was terrified. She took advantage of the teacher. Unexpectedly, the music teacher opened her eyes, and the red line on her head slowly faded. Jean Meixin was descending into madness. I recommend everyone watch the original film. Jean Meixin sat in the bathtub, stapling her own leg until it was a bloody mess, and stapled her own face. She muttered about having been with many men, until she stopped breathing. A shut-in passing by heard the woman's cries. He originally wanted to confront the queen in anger, but he saw a man lying on the bed, bleeding heavily. After stumbling upon so many murder cases, Han Jiyu found it very suspicious. He asked to check the scene for clues, and from the homebuddy's mouth, he learned that there was a red thread on Jean Meixin's head, but it wasn't connected to the music teacher. Jean Meixin always wore glasses. It was probably something to do with the glasses. At the crime scene, Han Jiyu found the glasses in the bathroom. Curious about how dangerous they were, she put them on and was horrified to see herself as a giant rooster.